For China equities in particular, to be fair, the market seems to be pricing in a lot of the fundamentals, especially on a macro broad index level. Of course, there will be value in certain pockets of the index itself, but from a macro perspective, in the multi-asset funds that we have, we think that the China market is pretty fairly priced at the moment.
How much of a shot in the arm would that big stimulus package be in the US for Asian exporters?
So I guess it would be pretty helpful, I would say, because it would just be an additional impetus to risk-on environments. US, Asian exporters really need the global economy to be kickstarted, and as Fed Powell mentioned yesterday as well, that yes, you have seen an improvement in economic data, but you're nowhere close to where you were pre-pandemic. Whether you look at the labor market statistics, or even at hard indicators. So the Asian exporters really need the global fiscal policy makers and monetary policy makers to remain supportive in order for them to really ride that global acceleration wave.
Interesting. I do also want to get in your thoughts on the diversification play in Asia. Earlier, of course, last year the whole theme was China first in, first out. Now you can see how the positioning is changing more towards Taiwan as well as South Korea, and those markets are next in line when it comes to the overall weightage of the MSCI EM index. What about India and then lower down across ASEAN? What's the positioning there?
Yeah, so ASEAN has been a significant laggard last year. We think predominantly that is, due to the fact that the composition of the equity index is very focused on the old economy and value sectors, mainly financials. For instance, if you look at Singapore equities, we are inching our way into ASEAN equities now because we feel that as yields go up and as the economy and the world opens up, even with Thailand, which is, whose economy is very focused on, tourism flows and tourism activity, you should start to see somewhat of a pickup in these ASEAN markets. But at the end of the day, it's going to depend a lot on, whether you look at India or Indonesia, a lot on how they manage to control the COVID infections. And at the moment, the market is still waiting for evidence which suggests that you are going to see these countries really fight and be able to combat the pandemic.